Victorian government is basically asking the Parliament next week to pass some legislation that will enable the state of emergency to go on for another 12 months. And in effect, that provides the Chief Health Officer and the government itself to continue to impose various forms of restrictions of various types for as long as they like.
So why won't they lay out a plan, do you think? What would you like to see with restrictions in Victoria?
Look, I think a common thing, and it's not just for small business owners, but when you think about your own personal experience, that the pain of uncertainty is far greater than the certainty of pain. And what we're not getting is a very clear vision as to how will the world operate under various scenarios. Let's say that these numbers keep coming down. It's 94 today in Victoria. That's great, but we've got only under 4,000 active cases out of a population of 6 million people in Victoria. Let's say there's going to be a third wave. Is everything going to get closed down again? We've got 2 weeks to go of the current stage 4 restrictions in Melbourne. What will actually happen after that? What is the number that they're aiming for? Is it 60 new cases a day for a couple of days? One of the big challenges here is we're not getting the full picture around all the other impacts from a health point of view, not to mention the economic point of view. So, they need to make more visible the invisible so that we can have some more trust, so that we can shine some light, have the confidence that they know what they're doing. Because after all, this second wave, everything points to the evidence so far, being shown to us via the judicial inquiry, that this is the result of decisions made and poor implementation. So if they couldn't get it right a few months ago, what confidence do we have that they're getting it right now?
And Bill, you have some confronting statistics about some people not getting their usual vaccines. Can you run us through them?
Yeah, look, there were some reports this week from the Royal Children's Hospital here in Melbourne that there's a 20% reduction in parents with young children taking their children to the hospital to get the normal vaccinations they get, against things like measles and mumps, rubella, etc. So that's a 20% reduction on that. We were talking to the general practitioner organisation recently. There's a high percentage reduction in people going to their GP. There's a lot of people that are very, very scared. And in being scared, they're not doing the normal things they need to do to be healthy, not to mention the implications for their overall mental well-being.
So why do you think it's this scare tactic that you think it probably is? What's happening here?
Look, I'd love to hear all the politicians actually come clean on this, even if we take it at the national level, for example, under the Constitution. Remember, that was made known to all of us in that movie, The Castle. There's actually something called Section 51. And Section 51, the Commonwealth, so Canberra, has the law, the power to regulate interstate trade and commerce. So they can deal with these border closures that are largely being made for political reasons by state governments with upcoming elections, etc., to let people cross those borders with respect to getting on with trade and commerce. Then we get down to the state level. I just think they, to some degree, think that we're mushrooms. We'll just keep them in the dark. We can't be trusted. We can't really explain it to them. Let's just keep spinning. It's become a bit like Groundhog Day, Janie, down here in Melbourne. I think you've just said that the Premier's got another press conference coming on. And I don't know how many in a day now, or each day for a number of days in a row, but this is a bit like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. Like each day, okay, there's a few different numbers. Even the poor journalists in those press conferences in Melbourne don't even have microphones near them so we can hear the questions.
The journalists don't have microphones?
No, you can't actually hear clearly what the questions are being asked. So it appears that the politicians are playing the old game in the old way that's got them to where they are now, whereas we're in a whole new world. The people all around the world, not to mention here in Victoria, are demanding more transparency. Big fancy word. Give us the full information. Explain to us what the plan is. I think it's the book of Proverbs that says, where there is no vision, the people perish. That's the way a lot of people are feeling here in Victoria.
And Bill, given the ongoing uncertainty, what can we do to help small businesses across the country?
Look, that's a great question. There's lots of things that we can do. So clearly, anyone that's in small business, continue to encourage them to hang in there, to do what they can to keep going. We're working very hard to get the federal government to make some simple changes to the whole bankruptcy law so that no business owner ends up being bankrupt through no fault of their own. Of course, getting out and supporting those small businesses. A lot of them now you can buy from them online, you can pick up over the phone, they'll deliver things, etc. Keep well as opposed to staying safe. Let's keep well. There's only 3 or 4 key things we all need to do to ensure that we don't catch this particular thing. We're pretty excited at Small Business Australia because we've now got some of the largest companies in the country, the biggest small business bank, people like the NAB, Australia Post, the biggest design and printing company, Snap, the biggest news company, News Corporation, all becoming part of Small Business Australia. And we've now got a whole bunch of resources available for all small businesses to come over to smallbusinessaustralia.org, get the buy local material, get all the kits, access a whole bunch of cost savings, but encourage everyone to keep going, get every small business over to smallbusinessaustralia.org, and we will all get through this together by all of us, the people and the small business people, with the help of the big companies on Team Small Business Australia working together.
Sounds like a great initiative. And as you said, a bit of Groundhog Day. The Victorian Premier will be live in just under an hour's time. But thank you as always, Bill Lang, Executive Director of Small Business Australia. You take care in Victoria there.
Thanks very much, Janie.